It's low too.
Good evening, everyone. It's 5 p.m. I call the public meeting to order. I want to thank everyone who is joining us this evening. If you want to make a public comment on the items listed under the closed session agenda, please listen carefully to the directions provided by the clerk at the opening of each item. Ms. Lozando.
Public hearing for visitors who wish to address the board on closed session items. 15 minutes of this portion of the meeting are reserved for members of the public to address the board on closed session items. Speakers seeking to comment on other items are requested to make those comments during the public comment portion of the meeting at 6:30 p.m. Speakers are limited to no more than 3 minutes. The school board is prohibited by law from taking actions on matters discussed that are not on the agenda, and no adverse conclusion should be drawn if the school board does not respond to public comment at this time. If you wish to address the board on an item included in this section of the agenda, please step up to the podium and state your name and city of residence. If you are joining us remotely and would like to make a public comment, click on the reactions icon located at the bottom of your screen, and the reactions window, click on the raise hand button and wait for your name to be called. We will allow speakers from the audience to address the board in the order they approach the podium or appear on our screen.
Good evening, board members, board president Seibert, clerk Mendoza, again, board members, Superintendent Lyle, David Holder, UTA president. 12 years ago, I addressed, and I believe with my failing memory, board president Seibert, you were on the board 12 years ago. Mrs. Fleek was not on the board. She was actually at Alpha teaching, and she was a MUTA rep. And Mrs. Seibert, I believe 12 years ago, you were in a classified position. Superintendent Lyle, I believe 12 years ago, again, with my failing memory, I believe you were at South as a VP, potentially the principal. And I had not yet been elected. I and another former MUTA member were strike coordinators. 12 years ago, the divide between MUTA and the district was wide. The hostility was deep. The resentment had built up to a level that led almost to a strike scenario. We went through fact-finding, mediation, and right at the last moment, a strike was diverted. Unfortunately, now I find myself in the same situation, potentially, not right now. This is not any threat of a strike, but we are in some critical times again. This event is, again, an effort, as I've talked to you all a few times, to prevent a future situation where we roll back to 12 years ago, where the level of hate, hostility, anger that was between MUTA, a lot of MUTA members and many of the board members was you could cut it with a knife. We don't want that. Again, we are here to show you that we want to prevent something in the future. We want a fair settlement. MUTA members, all 1,300 of them, all they want is respect and a fair settlement. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Sarah Colomer, educator at Alpha Elementary, an alumni of Madera High School, graduating class of 1989. Members of the school board, Superintendent Lyle, I stand before you today not just as an educator, community member, mother, and alumni of Madera High School class of 1989, but as someone who has dedicated her life to students' futures. My plea is simple but urgent. We need a competitive salary that acknowledges our value and addresses the harsh reality of inflation. Every day, Madera Unified School District loses talented educators, counselors, psychologists, and nurses, to name a few, to neighboring districts that offer better compensation. Our recruitment crisis grows deeper as qualified candidates choose other opportunities over joining our team. These are not just statistics. These are real educators with real families making very painful choices. The retention crisis is equally devastating. Dedicated professionals who love our students are reluctantly walking away, forced to choose between their passion for teaching and their ability to support their families. As our purchasing power steadily declines due to inflation, the district's cash reserves have paradoxically and sadly increased. This imbalance sends a troubling message about priorities. Since September, Our teachers, counselors, psychologists, and nurses have been patiently waiting for negotiating to be made in good faith, seeking nothing more than fair compensation that matches our dedication. We know the district can't afford the 8% MUTA is requesting. It's not about capacity, but about making students and educators a true priority. As the lowest paid educators in our surrounding area, we just simply cannot wait any longer. Every day, the delay weakens our schools and shortchanges our students. I was one of those students. The recruitment and retention crisis require immediate action, and we all need to work together to resolve this in a timely and fair manner. I ask you to look into the faces of your educators who stand before you today as teacher tired during state testing. People who nurture, challenge, and believe in your children because they're our children. And recognize our worth with more than our words. Our students deserve stability. Our community deserves a thriving school district. And we, your dedicated educators, deserve a salary that allows us to continue serving with our whole hearts, financially, economically, emotionally, and most of all, with the care and dedication that each of these children deserve, because I was one of those children. I chose to come back to Madera. I want those children to see me and, hey, you know what? I got my job. I can do it too. And even more. Thank you for listening. Have a good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Seibert and Clerk Mendoza, and of course, Superintendent Lyle. My name is Trudy Houghton, and I am also a Madera kid. Grew up here, left, came back because this is home. Unfortunately, more than half of your 1,300 members don't call Madera home. So what you're asking them to do right now is to drive to make less. Less than Fresno, less than Clovis, less than Central, less than Sanger, less than all the surrounding districts, which is ridiculous, which might account for the 100+ teachers we have to hire every year, / we lose every year. The most important thing I can do in my class is consistency every day. We're not giving the kids consistency because we have new staff every single year. We have new initiatives, which we, all of us, gladly take on. Extra, more time, less money, more effort, more mental and emotional strain, less time away from our families that we gladly give because we're teachers and we know that's the job. I keep hearing that the district doesn't have money and they can't afford it. But you can, you choose not to afford it. I've been in this district 28 years and we have given back furlough days. We have foregone raises because we care about the district that we're in. We don't want to bankrupt the district. We don't want you guys to be in financial trouble because when there's financial trouble, we lose teachers. And we're MUTA, Teachers Association. We're not trying to bankrupt. However, we cannot continue to be last. We have a wonderful package. Our medical package is wonderful. Thank you. We appreciate it. I say thank you not because you gave it to us, because we fought for it. We gave up money for it, which is why we're last, because we've given up money over and over and over again, waiting for the board, for the district to do what's right and treat us like valued employees, like valued members of the community. And we can't wait anymore because time and time again, you've shown us that you don't respect the job that we're doing, that you don't care about our time away from our family, about us doing what you want us to do every single day. We're done waiting. We can't wait. We can't afford to wait. Thank you.
Let me just make a comment real quick that I know there's several of you still want to speak into, but we're gonna have to limit it down to 2 minutes if we can. If summarize it. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Carmen Colon. I live in Fresno. First, I'd like to say greetings. I'm a school psychologist, and I'm sure that when I say I love my job, I'm not the only one. Education, as we used to know it, is changing swiftly and drastically. We're living in unfortunate times with not only the cost of everyday living going up, but our education system is facing dire circumstances when it comes to funding and program cuts. The fact that we are facing students with social emotional problems, different medical diagnosis, and behavioral challenges does not change. We're getting kicked, spit on, scratched, bitten each day. But we still go to work, not knowing what to expect. Continue to do our job, this lab building to ensure that our students are prioritized. We know that educators will never be paid what they're worth, but at least we should get paid a fair wage. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board, President Seibert, Mr. Mendoza, Mr. Lyle, Mr. Thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to speak here. My name is Alex Escobar. I teach first grade here. I'm a proud James Monroe Bear. I'm here with some of my fellow teachers as well. I'm one of the people that Tootie just mentioned that commute here. I was not born and raised in Madera, California. I had some friends here and I came here, spent some time here, fell in love with the city, the people of Madera. And I come every day because I have a passion for education, just like everybody in this room. The majority of the workforce here commute, and we come here every day because of our passion. The passion for the students, the passion for the families of Madera Unified. We come here because we love what we do. The teachers, the psychs, the counselors, the nurses, we love what we do. And we show up with that passion, but after so much, there's a limit. And we have to stand up for ourselves. And that's what we're here doing today. We're here standing up for what we deserve. What we deserve to do the job that we love to do. And I want to say that we show up with that passion. And I don't want that passion to be mistaken as weakness. Kindness is not weakness. We are strong, we are united, and we are MUTA. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Madera Unified Board of Trustees. My name is Ernito Aronico, and I've taught in this district for about 18 years now. I have a few things to say. So again, my father taught me that actions speak louder than words. It's a lesson I carry with me not only in raising my children, but teaching my students every day. If you've ever known me as an educator, you know I let my actions or sometimes my inactions speak for me. I don't like public speaking. Speaking in front of a classroom, that's a different story. But tonight I'm speaking up, not just because I support MUTA and the educators of Madera Unified, but because I support the students we serve every single day. Last week, Superintendent Lyle shared some powerful words of support for educators in Madera Unified. He said, our teachers have not only weathered the storms of the past 5 years, they've led us through them with heart and determination. To that I say, give us fair, equitable pay. He continued, Madera's identity is being shaped by the success stories of our teachers that our teachers are writing every day. Today, MUSD students are experiencing the most transformative educational journey in our district's history, intellectually, socially, and personally. Behind every success is a dedicated teacher lighting the path. And to that, I say again, give us our fair, equitable pay. He went on to praise schools where most grade levels are growing above the average, some above 90th percentile. 3 large complex high schools leading in academic achievement and uncommon feat nationally. Finally, a bold first-year rollout for MUSD graduate profile, which again was a success this year, sparking a deeper learning and 21st century readiness, all led by teachers. So to that, I say again, give us our equitable pay. These were words shared loudly and proudly across the district that were meant to celebrate our successes, and we appreciate that recognition. But now I'll ask, will Madera Unified's actions rise to match its words? Thank you.
Good evening, Superintendent Lyle and all the board members. My name is Cecilia Madueña Young. I'm a resident of Madera, and I am one of the many teachers. I reside at a dual language emerging school. And my concern is that our expectation is that we need to have our students leave us being bilingual and biliterate by the time they leave Madison. and Washington and Pershing, and we're not being compensated for all the extra work that we have to put into it, not only us, but all the other teachers. And I'm just going to leave you with this that I wrote. Let's empower teachers to continue their invaluable work by compensating them fairly for their contributions. I support MUTA. I stand with my union. Thank you.
I'm a little short. Good evening, Board President, Clerk Mendoza, and trustees. My name is Betsy Villanusa, and I'm proud to be in my 5th year of teaching with Madera Unified School District. I've had the privilege of serving the students and families at George Washington Elementary, a school deeply rooted in community and culture. Now, on a more personal note, I want to share a challenge that weighs heavily on me. I am a proud first-generation college graduate raised by a single mother. Through hard work and determination, I took college courses while still in high school, completing a semester before I graduated. I earned my bachelor's degree in just 3.5 years and completed my credential program in a 1.5 years, all while substitute teaching to support myself. I've been working nonstop ever since. I completed induction, earned tenure, and pursued my master's in curriculum and instruction. I am now part of the Bridges to Leadership program. I've served as a mentor teacher for our residency program, coached 2 sports, and a school site council secretary, a lead for 3 years, part of the PBIS team, a member of the Sunshine Committee, and activities coordinator for 5 years. I've never hesitated to go above and beyond because our students, staff members, and communities deserve nothing less. But despite everything I've done, I am struggling to stay afloat financially. I closed on my first home last December, a huge milestone, but my monthly average is $3,500. PG&E ranges from $200 to $400. Water bill, about $100. My phone bill is $35 because I'm on a family plan, and $15 for the internet because I'm a student. Car insurance, about $150 with the basics, and gas is about $240 a month because I do commute. That's nearly $4,400 in monthly expenses, and it doesn't even include my groceries, leaving me with about $100 for those groceries. I've had to dip into my savings just to make ends meet. I'm trying to live the so-called American dream. I've done everything I was told to do: get educated, work hard, contribute to my community, and yet I am barely making it. So tonight, I stand here as a proud member of MUTA, alongside educators who work far beyond the bell, carrying our mission and vision forward every single day. We love our work when we give it our all, but we need compensation that reflects the cost of living and the value of our contribution. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. It is 6:38 PM and I call this regular meeting to order. Welcome to tonight's board meeting. I want to welcome the media and everyone joining us in person and by Zoom. We ask those joining this meeting this evening to please silence your electronic devices not linked to this meeting. If you'd like to make a public comment, please listen carefully to the directions provided by the clerk at the opening of each public comment period. Superintendent Lyle.
President Seibert, Clerk Mendoza, members of the board and public, and all of our fans out there in Zoom land. I'd like to remind us of our vision and our mission. Our vision states that Madera Unified will set the standard for hard work, creativity, and resiliency with a fearless drive to continuously improve. And our mission states that we're committed to creating and sustaining a culture, enabling Madera Unified students to experience an unparalleled educational journey that is intellectually, socially, and personally transformative. That's the nature of our business this evening, sir.
Thank you, Superintendent Lyle. Item number 3, roll call. Ms. Elizondo, would you please poll the board?
Trustee Castillo. Here. Trustee Cervantes Hernandez. Here. Trustee Ahmad.
Here.
Trustee Cortez.
Here.
Trustee Dybert.
Here.
Trustee Fleek.
Here.
Trustee Salazar.
Here.
Clerk Mendoza.
Here.
And President Seibert.
Here. Okay, all right. Thank you, Ms. Elizondo. Trustee Fleet, would you lead us in the flag salute?
Please stand, and the flag is behind you. Ready, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Fleek. Tonight's scheduled invocation will be provided by Pastor Daniel Martinez of the Fourth Street Church of Madera. I invite Pastor Martinez to the podium.
Would you please join me in prayer? Father, I so thankful and grateful for the opportunity to come together as a part of this community and to be able to lift up every person in here in prayer, Father. I thank you, Father, for your word that says, if anyone lacks wisdom, let him ask of God who gives generously without finding fault. And don't know all the circumstances, but definitely feel that this is a very important meeting for a lot of people in this community. And I want to pray and ask, Father God, for first your blessing, for wisdom to each of these board members, and your blessing and wisdom to everybody in this audience. Father, I thank you for each one of them and for their families. Just even seeing the faces, how these people have impacted the community. And I'm so grateful for each one of them. And thank you, Father, for your guidance. I believe each one of the people in this audience and the people on this board, Father, have been placed here for this time and this season. And so I pray that you would guide the conversation and thank you, Father, for this community and the unity that you bring to this. In Jesus' mighty name, I ask you. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Martinez. Okay, item number 4, closed session reportable items, actions, Superintendent Lyle.
President Seibert, Clerk Mendoza, members of the board and public, tonight we actually do have one to report. By a vote of 7-0, the board approved the settlement of a special education dispute in the matter of Student versus Madera Unified OAH case number 2025-030820.
Thank you, Superintendent Lyle. Adoption of the agenda, item number 5, Ms. Elizondo.
Action to add or delete items from any portion of the agenda or to discuss any consent agenda items must be taken prior to the adoption of the agenda.
Superintendent Lyle, does the staff have items to add or remove from the agenda?
No, sir.
Thank you, Superintendent Lyle. Trustees, you have items you want to add or delete from the agenda? Okay. Okay, trustees, do I have a motion and a second to adopt the agenda as presented?
President Seibert, I so move to adopt the agenda.
Second. It's been moved by trustee Salazar and seconded by trustee Cortez. Or Ahmad, I'm sorry. Ms. Elizondo, would you please poll the board?
Yes, sir. Trustee Castillo.
Yes.
Trustee Cervantes Hernandez.
Yes.
Trustee Ahmad.
Yes.
Trustee Cortez.
Yes.
Trustee Dybert. Trustee Fleek.
Yes.
Trustee Salazar.
Yes.
Clerk Mendoza.
Yes.
And President Seibert.
Yes.
President Seibert, I counted 9 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, and 0 absent. 2 of the votes were preferential.
Thank you. Item number 6A, communication, student and staff recognition. Item number 6A1, recognition of the 2025 Bonner Center Charter and Civic Education School Awards from Madera South High School. Superintendent Lyle.
So President Seibert, Clerk Mendoza, members of the board and public, we have some really fun and really exciting things to celebrate tonight. And I'd like to ask Director Karen Diorian, I know she's in the house somewhere. Director Diorian, if you would please approach the podium and introduce our special guest. You might want to just bring our special guest up right now. I knew Dr. Franks was in here someplace. Nice to see you, Dr. Franks. Welcome in, and this is a time of year we always celebrate, and it always feels really good to honor a lot of really hard work done at school sites that improves the lives of kids. Ms. Diorian, if you would, please.
Thank you. Good evening, President Seibert, Clerk Mendoza, and trustees and Superintendent Lyle. It is my great honor to introduce Dr. Mabel Franks from the Bonner Center to award one of our high schools with a character award tonight. Dr. Franks?
Thought maybe that was a pizza tray you were carrying around. President Seibert and members of the board and Superintendent Lyle, it's an honor and privilege to be here tonight to give an award that's about establishment of a character and culture in schools that support student character development and citizenship. And so tonight, this award is given to a school that has shown tremendous growth over the period of time in which the last 5 years in which we've all lived, to be able to see schools that have grown so much and believe in what they're doing, and that they really balance what I would call emotional intelligence with IQ, recognize that it's all about people in order to learn and remember and grow. So tonight I'd like to honor Madeira South, for everything that they've done over a period of time in which many of us are still struggling. The students just came unglued with so much happiness when we got to talk to them. The parents, the staff, all believe in what they're doing every single day. So in that, I'd like to congratulate them, but to recognize them that they are leading in Central California. Far more students are really developing and believing in themselves. And it's because of all of you sitting here and all the parents and all those that really focus their attention on this. So thank you so much for Madeira South.
Thank you, Dr. Franks. I'd like to invite the Stallions to come on up. So we have a plaque for the school and then a sign to hang outside. Congratulations, Stallions. Job well done.
Photo op though, don't go. Can we get a photo? Quick photo op. Dr. Franks, would you jump in that photo?
Would have to do.
Pays to be tall, doesn't it? No. So there's some pretty powerful swan songs that were just right here with Stephanie and John. But thank you all for the work that you inspired. You know, you had a lot of teachers contribute to this and make a huge difference. You don't run a school from the office, right? You have to inspire a school classroom by classroom. So Dr. Franks, press that.
One thing I would say, when you hear it from the students, you know it's actually happening. They're hoping it's happening when you hear from the adults. But when the students are able to talk about it and believe it and share examples, it's happening every day. So congratulations to everything you're doing.
Trustee Cervantes, we got a chance to see in your student voice meeting just how powerful the compliments and the sense of like togetherness the school it has been feeling. And it very much, we know that's what the kids are saying because we've heard it from them. I hope you're proud. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Let's see, item number 6A2, career technical student organizations. Recognition, Superintendent Lyle.
So President Seibert, Clerk Mendoza, members of the board and public, we have Kristen McKenna from College and Career Readiness here to present this item. we do this quite a bit. It's a really important moment in time to honor a lot of sacrifice and a lot of inspired achievement. And Kristen, I know you'll have much more to say than I can because you live this so much more closely. And so do a lot of the adults that came with you all tonight. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Board President Seibert, Clerk Mendoza, members of the board, and Superintendent Lyle. I think I say this every year, but it's because it's true. This is my favorite night of the year where we get to celebrate our students who are a part of career technical education and their successes. And so just as a reminder before we go through these, we are very fortunate that our career technical student organizations have achieved at very high levels in the last 5 to 10 years. So much so that tonight you will only see students that won the state or the nation. So only first place. If we did second through fifth, we wouldn't get through this tonight. So we recognize those at other meetings. So tonight we will just be recognizing our state and national winners. So I'm going to invite FFA up first. And so we went ahead and did these tonight in the chronological order that these events happened. So FFA was the first event back in the beginning of April. And so tonight we have 4 students with us that won. The first 3 that I'm going to talk about are students that won their proficiency. And a proficiency is an area of a project that they do outside of school that requires hours and money and financial commitments. And so we had 3 state winners for that. The first one is Chris Tornero, and if you can take a step forward, Chris. He is the state winner in landscape installation. Our second one is Matthew Machado. We snuck Matthew out of Churchill Affair to be here with us tonight. He was the winner in goat production. And then lastly, for our proficiencies is Sadi Madriz. And she was our winner in agricultural communications, and she's worked tirelessly with, I know, George Garnica and members of our communications team, as well as herself, to really get them publicized. And so there's another slide, because obviously I've only talked about 3 and we've got more than that up. So the other area of competition in FFA is STAR Awards. And so stars are even a little bit more prestigious because there's only 4 to 5 of them at the state level. And so for a STAR Award, students are competing against all of the students in different areas. And so this year we have a state winner in ag business. So the best agricultural business in the state was recognized from Madera, California, and that is Adrian Sanchez. And then there's also the STAR Reporter. So we already talked about doing really well in ag communications. So what goes hand in hand with that is that they recognize the STAR Reporter in the state. So Sada E was also the state STAR Reporter. And our tradition in CTE is we give the students a cord to wear at graduation. Some of these kids already have one. So if you count multiple at graduation, you'll remember that they were in front of you multiple times. So let me present these really quick and we'll get a picture and I'll invite in our next group.
So Director McKenna, before you walk away or before you send the FFA off, let's provide the big picture here. We learned a few years ago that the Madera South School of Ag, the FFA team, is one of the largest in the nation, already one of the most award-winning in the nation. But how many states, that's the one that always blows me away, how many states achieved combined the same number of, was it Green Hand Awards?
When we looked at state degrees a few years ago, Madera FFA had more than like 13 states just in our chapter. And so one of the other things that I asked Ms. Luxon today, because proficiencies weren't always a strength in Madera FFA, and she hates recognition, and she's probably not even behind me at the moment.
She is, yeah.
Ms. Julie Luxon, I know she won't come up, but I'll still talk about her anyways. Ms. Luxon, when she joined our chapter from Fireball in 2016, 2014, really took to the call of proficiencies. And since under her leadership, we've had 24 state proficiency winners. She added 3 to her accomplishments this year. So congratulations to Ms. Luxon as well. So every year you guys will notice, right, the same uniforms when we come to the board, and this is going to be a brand new one for you guys. So we'll bring up Maria. Go ahead and come up. Mr. Palacios, you can come up with her. Miss Luxon just doesn't like that as much. And so Skills USA is a CTSO that you guys probably haven't heard as much about for me because it's something that we've been getting established in Madera FFA or in Madera Unified. And so this year, Maria Cuevas in front of you was gold, first place in the state, first time in district history that we've had a state winner for Skills USA. She is headed off to Atlanta, Georgia in June to compete at the national level. And Maria is a very dedicated young lady. 3 years ago, she did this competition. She was third. She came back last year and she was second, and she was determined to win it her senior year.
Wow.
So best of luck.
Awesome.
And she is joined by her coach and public safety teacher at Matilda Torres, Simon Palacios today. So congratulations, Maria.
No small impact, Mr. Palacio.
And then we'll bring out robotics. It's going to take a minute for them to get all situated because there's 18 of them. I'm going to move the dais just a little.
You guys tired of this yet today? This is your third recognition in one day. Wait till you see the magazine.
Yep, and mentors, coaches. Okay, Frank, I got a slide for this one if you want to put it up. Squeeze, get close. So not a new face in the boardroom. As we all know, this is the third World Championships won by Madtown Robotics, 1323. So I'm going to stop and clap there. One more. So I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about them and their success in this season. And so this year, they had a 53 win, 3 loss, and 0 tie record. As you guys know, in order to make it to Houston, which is our World Championships, the students have to qualify at a regional. They decided to not win 1 regional, but win 2 regionals. So they won both Silicon Valley and Contra Costa, which gave them the place to compete, obviously, in Houston. At Silicon Valley, they got the Autonomous Award, and at Contra Costa, the Quality Award. In April over spring break, they headed to Houston, where they were in a really tough Newton division. Our team came out on top, which meant we were the captain alliances, which is where our scouters, which is a role on the team, really comes into play because we have a pick in what teams we're going to go into those finals with in order to try to win it all. If you were watching and yelling alongside me on your phone, you will know that first, they won Newton. Okay, we got out of Newton and we went to Einstein. So that's the world finals. All of the different semifinals come together, and we lost the first one, right? And then the second one was super close, and you're screaming and you're holding your breath, and they win the second one. So then you go to that tiebreaker third match, and obviously we were successful. So they won that. And at Houston, they also got the Creativity Award that was sponsored by Rockwell Automation. And so, as we know, this is the third World Championships, which is a huge accomplishment. As some of you know, a lot of our teams in FIRST Robotics are coached by NASA or Google or all these people. And this is truly a hometown team, and we couldn't be successful without our mentors. And so we have 2 of them with us today, Ranjit Chahal and Elias Avila. They are from West Coast Products and teach the kids all the concepts to build and mill and program and compete at such a high level. So I'm going to read their names if they could step up. And RC and Elias, would you guys mind putting the cords on the kids?
So Director McKenna, didn't they have some records they broke this year? That seems to keep getting lost when it sounds like it.
I'm going to let RC talk about that one.
Okay, great.
Oh, well, thank you guys for having us here today. Really appreciate it. Yeah, the team was phenomenal this year. Like we won with the highest score, the number one robot in the world. And, you know, it's an accomplishment for all the students, mentors, and the school district because, you know, you think about how well the kids do, and they're one out of 4,000 teams worldwide. It's the US, Canada, you know, India, China, you name it. So the kids do really well. You know, it's not just winning the local events, not winning California, it's not winning New York, it's not winning the state. It's a world championship. So the team not only was the best robot in the world, they were the highest scoring team in the world. Like I think they had 8 out of the 10 records. And then yeah, we won championships this year. And you know, I really like to, you know, as the mentor on the team for a long time, my 15th or 16th year mentoring. You know, winning 1 world championship is really tough. Winning 2, winning 3 is, you know, I talked with the mentors and some of the coaches, like it's crazy thing you win 3 world champions. It's like winning 3 NFL Super Bowls, winning 3, you know, NBA titles. You know, teams only have 1, right? So I think we're the 3rd most winning team in the world. It's Poops, 71, and then us. We have the most amount of the 3rd most world championships. Hopefully, we beat the 5 numbers soon. And I think, you know, to the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate Madera Unified, the school district, McKenna, Cheryl, you know, everyone that, you know, Todd and the board members. You know, we really can't thank you enough because, you know, teams aren't that lucky to win 1. They're not lucky to win 2. You know, winning 3 in the last few years, it's incredible. And, you know, from a mentor perspective, I really appreciate it. And I hope we get to 5 or 6 or 10 in the next decade.
Okay, and without further ado, our teammates, Ian, actually, there's 2 Ians, Ian Berrigan. I got Brayden. Elijah. Francisco. Thomas. Ethan. Ezekiel. Isaac. Brianna. Emmanuel. Felipe. Alex. Idris. Jonathan. Miguel. Orelli. Ian Velasquez. And Brenda. And then to the side are advisors Jessica and Vern as well. So thank you. And congratulations. If you win again next year, you get a pick dinner, okay? We'll go out this way. Thank you, guys.
Congratulations again. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, ladies. Thank you.
Yep. Good job, guys. Congratulations.
I know.
Yeah.
They look almost as tired as they did at the airport, huh?
Do.
Yeah.
We're not done yet. So now I'd like to bring FPLA up. Priscilla. Go ahead. Yeah.
Go ahead and turn around, face the audience.
You can face
You
us. Yep.
definitely want to face the audience. They're better looking than we are. Mr. Corona already agreed.
So this is a new one as well in that we went to an overnight trip with 8th graders at MadTech this year. Mr. Corona and I chaperoned the students. And then we had a great trip and they got to compete against some very high level middle school chapters. And so Priscilla competed in the middle school level public speaking contest where she was 1st place. So we've never had an 8th grader get a cord. So if you see at Priscilla, remind me what school you go to. Yeah, Desmond? Yeah. So if you see this at Desmond, she will be our first 8th grader that gets to wear this at promotion. So congratulations to Priscilla. And
That's so cool.
we look We look forward to seeing her up here again as she goes into high school, and she's joined tonight with her coach from Mad Tech, Mr. Corona.
Congratulations, Donnie.
Okay.
Congratulations.
And then we'll bring up our last group, which is going to be FCCLA. Come all the way up. You don't have to be scared. Oh, sorry. His first time too. Go ahead and join us. Teachers, you may join too. Ms. Hanson, Ms. Stetsko, Mr. Collette. You're good. So FCCLA is the Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America, and it's not their first time in front of us either. I feel like every year more and more students from FCCLA are recognized at this meeting, which is very exciting. So we're going to talk, they had the closest state finals. All of these students have qualified to go to Orlando, Florida in July. So another out-of-state trip coming up. So we're going to start with Torres today. So for Matilda Torres, we are very proud to announce that Jerry and Isela were first place in the chapter portfolio review, and they get to go to Orlando and compete, and maybe we'll bring them back for national titles. And Mr. Collette is a first year at Torres CTE teacher. Okay, next we're going to talk about our Madera South students. Oh, and we talked about Mr. Collette. Their advisors are Ms. Hanson and Ms. George at Madera South. Our first student is Emery, and Emery was first place in Teach or Train Level 3. So future teacher, hopefully in the room.
Hey now.
And then Abigail was first place in Yes to FCS, which is Family and Consumer Sciences, Level 3 as well. So congratulations to both of you. And we're going to end our night with Madera High. And we're going to talk first really quick about state officers. So state officer is a huge accomplishment that's kind of hard to obtain. But for the last 3 years, Madera Unified's had a state officer. In the last 2 years, we've had the state president of FCCLA. So these are members from our local community that are representing the organization at a state level. And so very excited to announce our state president who's sick tonight. So I will send her cord with Ms. Stetsko, but Lydia was elected to state president. And then Samantha Richey is going to be the state vice president of community service.
How about that?
And then they also had some competitive students as well. So Kayla and Victoria were first place in the national programs in action.
Wow.
And then their advisor is Ms. Stetsko, but I also need to call out Ms. Stetsko because she was the state star advisor for FCCLA this year. And
I saw Ms. Stetsko.
Ms. Stetsko's been the regional FCCLA advisor and a whole bunch of other titles that I'm not even sure of. She's really served that organization well as our students here in Madera Unified. So good luck to all of you guys in Orlando this summer. And we look forward to hearing how you guys do. Congratulations.
Congratulations, FCCLA. Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations, Patty. Yeah, you're still here. Congratulations, Charmaine.
And that concludes my presentation with our state winning career technical student organization winners. I'm very fortunate for the group of students and teachers that continue to excel and make us proud above just the Madera level. So thank you, board, for all of your support. And we look forward to updating you on how they all do as they head everywhere and everywhere. I've got lots of flights that are not mine on my calendar for this summer.
Congratulations on a great season, Ms. McKenna. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. McKenna. Okay. Item number 6A3, the Madera Minute, Superintendent Lyle.
President Seibert, Clerk Mendoza, members of the board and public, this is where we show off the highlights of school culture and activities all over the district the last few weeks.
Sierra Vista and Washington Elementary are making Madera Unified proud as both schools were named the Solution Tree Promising Practices Professional Learning Community at Work. This award recognizes the commitment of those schools that raise student achievement. Madera, Madera South, and Matilda Torres High Schools hosted their annual Scholarship Nights event, where deserving students celebrated their achievements and future endeavors, receiving thousands of dollars in scholarships. Joel Arellano of Madera High School and Amani Sua of Torres High School were honored as finalists at the CIF Central Section Scholar Athlete of the Year Awards. Each received a $500 scholarship. It is uncommon for two recipients from the same district to achieve this recognition. In other things, over 140 parents graduated from high school and career readiness classes offered at Desmond, Martin Luther King Jr., and Thomas Jefferson Middle Schools through the Parent Institute for Quality Education program. Additionally, a social emotional class held at Virginia Lee Rose graduated 18 families, while a literacy class at Sierra Vista graduated 75 parents of English learner students. A total of 37 parents from Desmond Middle School and Monroe participated in the Parent Project and Loving Solutions programs, offered in partnership with the Parent Resource Centers, Madera County Probation, and the Madera Police Department. These programs provide tools to help parents manage teen behavior, reduce family conflict, and improve communication. And that's not all. More than 150 parents graduated from the Parent Resource Center's Grupo Crecer virtual parenting workshops. These workshops have provided parents with skills for positive parenting, essential for nurturing healthy and successful teenagers. And hundreds of families attended the 4th annual Mental Health Conference. The hybrid event featured experts from various fields providing attendees with the latest information on mental health topics. Families also had the opportunity to participate in raffles and other activities.
So President Seibert, you may remember, and trustees, you may remember how often we hear, we really wish there were parenting classes. And we definitely all see the need at our schools. And I know we want to send a shout out to all the staff in our parent resource centers and our wellness department for all of those parenting classes. I mean, it feels a little bit overwhelming at times, but it makes a big difference, and the difference accumulates. And there'll be another group that comes through next year and the same numbers or better. So thanks for supporting that. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Superintendent Lyle. Okay, item number 6B, public hearing for visitors who wish to speak on a subject not on the board agenda. Ms. Lozando?
15 minutes of this portion of the meeting are reserved for members of the public to address the board on items not listed on the agenda and within the jurisdiction of the school board. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. If the subject is an item on the agenda, the board president has the option of asking the speakers to hold a comment until that item is called. Comments on items listed as a public hearing on the agenda should be held until the hearing is opened. The school board is prohibited by law from taking actions on matters discussed that are not on the agenda, and no adverse conclusion should be drawn if the school board does not respond to public comment at this time. If you wish to address the board on an item not on the board agenda, please step up to the podium and state your name and city of residence. If you are joining remotely and would like to make a public comment, click on the reactions icon located at the bottom of your screen. In the reactions window, click on the raise hand button and wait for your name to be called. Speakers will be allowed to address the board in the order they approach the podium or appear on our screen. President Seibert, we do not have participants who wish to address the board at this time.
Thank you, Ms. Lozando. So, seeing no one, hearing one, I close public hearing. Item number 7, Student Board Representative Report. Liliana Standen is here to present Torres High School Superintendent Board Representative Report. As Ms. Layla Wifter was unable to be here tonight, Ms. Standen, would you please?
Good evening, Madera Unified School District, Board President Seibert, Superintendent Lyle, Clerk Mendoza, and members of the board. I'm Liliana Standen, here with the Toro Report. One of our favorite traditions at Torres High School is our annual Battle of the Classes Week, our yearly spirit competition where graduating classes work together to show who really has the most Toros pride. The week includes hallway decor, social media challenges, rally skits, cardboard boat races, and our annual Battle of the Classes rally. This year, our newest Toros, the class of 2028, reigned supreme, winning the most competitions and clinching the rally victory in a sudden death game of rock, paper, scissors. It was exciting and a memorable week for everybody who participated. To kick off spring break, members of Torres ASB traveled to the California Association of Student Leaders, or CASL, State Conference. Students had the opportunity to network with other ASB leaders across the state, be inspired by dynamic guest speakers, and participate in breakout sessions focused on leadership and student voice. I'm proud to share that Toro ASB earned its third consecutive Outstanding Leadership Program Award in recognition of their commitment to creating a more connected campus and empowering student voices. The conference was a big win for the Red Pyramid as well. Desmond Middle School received their very first OPLA award. We are incredibly excited for the future of Toro activities. April marks the beginning of the state conference season for our CTSOs. Our FCCLA team traveled to Riverside for their state leadership conference, where seniors Alana Navarro and Ruby Morentes Cabrera completed their terms as state president and state historian. Our chapter earned second place in both the job review and leadership categories, took home first place in the chapter review, portfolio review, and 4 FCCLA Toros were awarded scholarships totaling over $12,000. Additionally, juniors Joel Jimenez and Isabella Diablos were elected to serve as region officers for the 2025-2026 school year. Our host of students headed to Sacramento for their annual state leadership conference, where they had an outstanding showing. 10 Toros earned the Barbara James Service Award for their commitment to community service in Madera. 4 students achieved silver and gold placements as health literacy ambassadors, and senior Xander Milam Moore earned second place in the National Marrow Donor Program category, receiving the prestigious Merit Award for his project. In addition, 4 of our disaster first aid teams placed top 10 in the state. We are also proud to announce that 29 students will represent Torres High and Madera Unified at the HOSA International Leadership Conference this summer. Our public safety pathway students traveled to Anaheim for the Skills USA state competition, where senior Maria Cuevas won first place in criminal justice. She'll represent Torres at the National Skills USA Conference in Atlanta this June. We are proud of her accomplishments and wish her the best at nationals. In performing arts, our concert band attended the CMEA Festival, where both concert band and wind ensemble received a unanimous superior rating, the highest possible rating. This makes the first such rating for our concert band and the 4th consecutive unanimous superior for our wind ensemble. Torres Theater Company also shined at the Amador High School Theater Festival, earning first place in vocals. Shout out to our freshman phenomenon, Nina Munoz, second in duo scenes, second in one act ensemble. We are so incredibly proud of the accomplishments of our VAPA programs. In late April, all 3 high schools came together at Torres to represent our annual local scholarship night. 49 Torres seniors were recognized as scholarship recipients with a combined total of $89,731 awarded to our graduating class. It was a proud and emotional evening as we celebrated the student achievements and looked ahead to bright futures. To wrap up April, our visual arts department hosted their very first annual spring art show. A total of 315 student artworks were submitted, each based on an original student concept. The creativity and talent on display left teachers, families, and spectators in awe. It was a truly special night for our artists and our school community. Last week, ASB hosted our annual Culture Week, celebrating the rich diversity of Torres High School. This week featured themed dress-up days and campus activities, including our very first annual barber battle. 3 student barbers competed to deliver the best haircut in a partnership with Valley Barbershop, who supported the event with setup, mentorship, and judging. This week concluded with our annual culture fair, where ASB students researched and presented displays on cultures from around the world. It was a powerful week of unity, learning, and celebration. Sealed by Literacy Night was a proud evening as we celebrated over 150 students, the most in Torres High history and the largest group in MUSD this year. The evening featured performances by Torres Mariachi, inspiring student keynote speakers, and an address from MUSD alumna and current Toros counselor, Ms. Iniguez, who reminded us all of the lifelong value of bilingualism. It was a meaningful night for students, families, and our school community as we head into graduation season. And we can't forget to highlight Madtown Robotics and their incredible achievement, winning their third world champion title. The dedication, time, and passion of our students, coaches are nothing short of inspiring. They continue to set the bar high and make all of us at Torres High immensely proud. Here are upcoming activities. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And now I invite Juliessa Cruz to present the Alternative Ed Student Board Representative Report.
Good evening, President Seibert, Clerk Mendoza, Superintendent Lyle, and board members. My name is Jalissa Cruz, and I'm a junior at Mount Vista High School. I'll be presenting information on behalf of the alternative education schools. First up is Mountain Vista High School. On April 10th, students had a blast during the Easter egg hunt, excitedly searching for their personalized eggs hidden around campus. Next slide, please. Thank you. Our students got to take a field trip to Alcatraz recently. Shout out to Mr. Jones for putting this on for our students. This was both a fun and educational experience as our students were able to learn some history on Alcatraz. They had a great time. On May 2nd, we held our alternative education prom with Furman Independent Study. It was a great time for our students to have food, play games, and dance the night away. Our students came dressed to impress and made lots of memories with their friends. We are glad our students got to have this experience. Awards Night, held on May 8th, was an inspiring celebration, honoring students for their hard work, dedication, and remarkable accomplishments. On May 8th, Open House was a lively event where families engaged with staff, enjoyed a delicious hamburger meal, and some took part in the exciting bucket soak. On May 8th, our students, staff, and parents had the opportunity to write positive affirmations around our campus for Mental Health Awareness Month. This brought a lot of life and color to our campus, and it was a great opportunity for everyone to be involved. Next is Ripperton High School. New day with new opportunities to grow and become great individuals in the classroom and become great within ourselves. This past month, our top-tier students on Black Level participated in cooking delicious dishes with staff guidance of Miss Norum and Miss Yates on campus. Our students learned to make homemade chicken Alfredo and macaroni cheese dishes. Ripperton students were involved in beautification of our campus and playing with our new basketball arcade games on our campus. Several students were chosen by Souls for Souls Foundation and received brand new shoes from this organization this past month. On April 11th, our students participated in a scavenger hunt on campus with staff and students. On April 5th, Ripperton CDS staff organized our first annual cornhole tournament, held at the La Puerta Negra in Madera. We had over 12 individuals compete in the tournament and many more spectators in attendance for the event. Congratulations to Brian Riddle for winning this year's cornhole tournament. Thank you, Madera Unified Linkage Foundation and Mr. Tim Riche for your generous donation to our 2025 senior class. Our senior students appreciate your generosity towards them. Up next is the Furman Independent Study. Parents, teachers, and students attended the May ELAC and School Site Council meeting. At the conclusion of the ELAC and school site council meeting, many students were recognized for completing all of their work during the months of March and April. We were so honored to be able to celebrate each student for their hard work. Furman and Mountain Vista students came together for their 4th annual prom on Friday, May 2nd. The event was held at San Joaquin Winery and over 80 students attended. Students and staff had a wonderful time at this fun event. On Friday, May 9th, ATP and Furman students and staff competed in their annual cornhole tournament. Competition was fierce, but in the end, Mr. Selway and Ms. Waibara walked away as 2-time cornhole champions. Thank you to all of the sponsors who helped support this exciting event. Furman celebrated our We Believe champion for 2025 yesterday. Mrs. Howard is a true champion for Furman students, ensuring they are successful in their studies. She also spends many hours each year to help students have opportunities such as field trips to colleges, harvest festivals, and prom. Congratulations, Ms. Howard. All of the alternative education school sites believe in helping all students, finishing strong and graduating. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you, Ms. Cruz. Now item number 8, student board member information and report. Trustee Casello, I invite you to share your report with the board.
Thank you, President Seibert. Good evening, President Seibert, Clerk Mendoza, fellow trustees, Superintendent Lyle, and members of the audience. I am pleased to be here tonight and to report about Madera High School since our return. This season, MHS athletes have been earning numerous accomplishments and have been successful seasons. Our stunt team went undefeated for the 2nd year in a row, making them 2-time CMAC champions. Our boys baseball team completed their season with a record of 19-6 and are preparing for playoffs next week. Madera High School's swim team is the CMAC 2 league champs, with several individual athletes achieving personal and league accomplishments. MHS athlete Mackenzie Wood was the only female Madera Unified athlete to qualify to participate in both CMAC and Valley Championships for dive. She's a 2-time CMAC champ in both dive and stunt. Congratulations, Kenzie. Courtesy of Vice Principal Mr. Aquino, several MHS staff, administrators, and students, including myself, have come together to assemble our cell phone action committee. The objective of our committee is to assemble and regulate information, procedures, and activities that will help facilitate Madera High School's transition into a non-phone school environment. On this committee, we have members who are students, parents, teachers, counselors, safety officers, and other various support staff members who all contribute their own ideas, perspectives, opinions, and concerns regarding how Madera High School will go about implementing new regulations. Our student group plans on creating a cell phone policy guided presentation where we answer questions students might have, include a video of us presenting information or interviewing other students for their feedback, and I'd argue the most salient issue to our community, addressing why the policy was created and implemented and how this will benefit our school. We feel that with open communication and information sources for our students, staff, and parents, we will be able to successfully transition into a phone-free environment. One concern that has surfaced regarding this year's schedule change is its impact on instructional pacing. With 7 periods and advisory each Wednesday, it has been challenging for some to complete curriculum plans as intended, particularly as the school year comes to a close. Students have shared that this year has felt rushed, especially in classes with major final projects or cumulative assignments. In some cases, adjustments have been made to timelines and content coverage to accommodate the shortened instructional flow. While it's expected that future years may run more smoothly as everyone adjusts to the new structure, there are ongoing concerns about maintaining the depth and rigor of instruction. Our school isn't all work and no play, though. Per usual, our Madera High School 2025 prom was an absolute success. We had an amazing turnout. Lots of students attended, both juniors and seniors. There was a photo booth with props, allowing us to print and keep our memories from that night. There were games available for those who chose entertainment alternatives to the packed dance floor. My friends and I personally spent most of our time out dancing, and the energy and camaraderie did not feel at all as suffocating as it did inviting, considering the number of people on that dance floor. Everyone's smiles and laughter were euphoria-inducing enough to keep us all lively up till the very last song, when everyone sang along to Keisha Cole's Love in unison. Definitely the highlight of the end of the school year. I am honored to be able to share this information with you all. This is my last board meeting for this year, and I would like to thank everybody who allowed me the opportunity to serve as Madera High School's student board member. I have learned so much about my school and my peers. I will continue serving as an advocate of student voice and representation. Once again, thank you for your time. I know it's valuable.
Home run.
Thank you, trustee Castillo. Very good report. Now I invite trustee Cervantes Hernandez to invite you to share your report with the board.
Thank you, President Seibert. Good evening, President Seibert, Clerk Mendoza, trustees, Superintendent Lyle, and esteemed guests. I hope this evening finds everybody well. As the academic year draws to a close, our students have been actively engaged in significant events such as Military Signing Day, advanced placement testing, and scholarship night. With the warmer weather, the students are taking full advantage of the newly installed benches with the adjustable umbrellas. Anticipation is high for the upcoming end of the year rally and graduation ceremony. Furthermore, the Madera South Theater has been awarded the Play of the Year for the production of As the Sky Meets the Sea. A recent survey designed to gather student perspectives revealed that our students feel a strong sense of inclusion due to the celebration of diverse cultures. They expressed a desire for broader cultural representation. Additionally, students suggested that a lighter workload during NWEA testing would be beneficial. Newcomer students have requested more translated versions of announcements and flyers throughout the school, as well as translation services in certain classes. In addition to these various activities, students are enthusiastically participating in the end of the year events that highlight their dedication and accomplishments, such like Stallion Recognition Night, Senior Banquets, and the State Sealed by Literacy Recognition. This year marks a historic milestone with a specific student receiving the seal for demonstrating proficiency in both Arabic and English. Finally, as the year concludes, students eagerly anticipate prom and the CSF and Stallion Honor Society Recognition Luncheon on May 16th, where their efforts will be acknowledged by teachers and advisors. Lastly, I would like to express my gratitude to the Board of Trustees, Superintendent Lyle, and the Superintendent's Office for their continued support and encouragement throughout my role as Student Board Trustee. I have genuinely enjoyed my time in this position. The experience has been invaluable. I've learned so much about leadership, collaboration, and the importance of student representation. I would also like to thank my principal, Mr. Steinmetz, and Mr. Cummings, our activities director, for always making time to hear out my concerns about our school, and whose guidance has been greatly appreciated. Thank you. This concludes my report.
Trustee Dybert, I know your heart's fluttering right now. Right? I mean, this is what we always thought our student trustees could be. Speak truth to us, let us know how things are going on their campuses. It's not always easy. It's not always the fun information to share, but the professionalism and the poise and maturity, we need to find a way to get you hired. You guys are absolutely incredible. Thank you. That was about the most impressive student report I think we have ever had in this room up to now. So congratulations. Thank you guys for taking the bar and setting it a little bit higher. Appreciate it.
Okay, I'll move on to item number 9, consent agenda. Ms. Elizondo.
Items listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine and are acted on by the Board of Trustees in one motion. There is no discussion of these items prior to the board vote unless a board member or staff requests specific items be considered and discussed separately and/or removed from the consent agenda prior to the adoption of the agenda. It is understood that the administration recommends approval on all consent items. Each item on the consent agenda approved by the Board of Trustees shall be deemed to have been considered in full and adopted as recommended.
Okay, open the consent agenda for public comment. Ms. Elizondo?
If you wish to address the board on an item included in the consent agenda, please step up to the podium and state your name and city of residence. If you are joining remotely and would like to make a public comment, click on the reactions icon located at the bottom of your screen. In the reactions window, click on the raise hand button and wait for your name to be called. Speakers will be allowed to address the board in the order they approach the podium or appear on our screen. President Seibert, we do not have participants who wish to address the board at this time.
Thank you, Ms. Elizondo. Seeing no one come forward, I close public comment. I now entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. State your name when making the motion and when you second the motion.
Trustee Dybert, I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second,
Trustee Fleek, all second.
it's been moved by trustee Dybert and seconded by trustee Fleet to approve the consent agenda. There is one resolution on the consent agenda. Ms. Elizondo, would you please poll the board?
Trustee Castillo,
Yes.
trustee Cervantes Hernandez,
Yes.
trustee Ahmad,
Yes.
trustee Cortez,
Yes.
trustee Dybert,
Yes.
trustee Fleek,
Yes.
trustee Salazar,
Yes.
clerk Mendoza,
Yes.
and President Seibert.
Yes.
President Seibert, I counted 9 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, and 0 absent. 2 of the votes were preferential.
Thank you. Clerk Mendoza, would you like to help with our retirees?
Of course, my pleasure, President Seibert. At this time, I would like to take the opportunity to thank and acknowledge the following retirees for their service, not only to Madera Unified, but also to the service and commitment to the Madera community. Michael Martin, head custodian of Chavez Elementary School, retired on June 6, 2025, after 39 years of service. Robin Cresson, maintenance tradesperson, electrician, and maintenance and operations will retire on May 30th, 2025, after 24 years of service. Scott McKinney, teacher at Madera High School, will retire on June 6, 2025, after 21 years of service. If you happen to run across these folks, thank them for their service and the service to the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
President Seibert, back to you.
Yeah, thank you, Clerk Mendoza. And congratulations to the trust of the retirees. Superintendent Tao, are there other administrator announcements?
We do have 3, and all 3 very important for their respective areas. I'd like to first start with a gentleman that comes to us from Visalia, and he's here to assume a vice principal position at Thomas Jefferson Middle School, a school that some of us know all too well. It's shocking that it still smells the same after all these years. It gives you a little bit of 7th grade PTSD. Maybe that's just me. He has an extensive background and skill set for leading PBIS, which I know speaks to the work of Sandra Kelly and Amanda Garcia. He also has led the implementation of Solution Tree PLC practices with enough demonstrated evidence of success to achieve model school designation where he was. And that speaks to the passion of Katie DeLeon and Amanda Garcia. So this admin team is going to be assembled around some really important mutual interests and needs at Thomas Jefferson. A very talented administrative team all the way around. And the TJ staff, I think, will be very pleased with the leadership that they will be receiving these next several years. The Patriot Nation's traditions will get to shine even brighter. So I'd like to present to our trustees, Mr. Greg Uritza. Greg, thanks for your patience. Is the mic on? There's a button there. There you go. Couldn't tell.
I'll start over. Good evening, President Seibert, Clerk Mendoza, Superintendent Lyle, and members of the board. It's a privilege to be with you tonight. I spent the last decade serving students in Visalia Unified, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity to bring that experience here to Madera Unified. At Willow Glen, as an elementary teacher, I grew as a teacher, leading systems, supporting student success as a classroom teacher, grade level lead, athletic director, and eventually as an intervention TOSA and admin designee. I collaborated in PLCs to drive data-informed decisions, implement tier 1 and tier 2 supports, and mentored new teachers while helping shape a culture grounded in continuous growth. My journey continued at La Jolla Middle School, where I've had the honor of serving as learning director and currently as assistant principal. I helped lead our school to be recognized as both a California and National Schools to Watch and a Solution Tree Promising Practices School. These honors reflect the work our team has done to build strong intervention systems, align academic and behavioral supports, and empower teacher teams through meaningful PLC collaboration. I was humbled to be recognized as Administrator of the Year, a testament to the collective effort of staff and community. As I prepare to begin the next chapter here at Thomas Jefferson, I'm especially excited to work alongside Amanda Garcia and use my experience in instructional leadership, data-driven decision-making, and relationship building to support the incredible students, staff, and families. Lastly, I want to thank my wife, Ashley, our 3 children, Natalina, Luca, and Nico, for being my greatest supporters. Their love, patience, and encouragement make everything I do possible. Thank you for the opportunity.
Greg, it would probably be remiss of us not to thank our recruiter in chief in the back. Thank you, Mr. Lopez. So President Cyber Clerk Mendoza, members of the board and public, we have a vacancy in our college and career readiness leadership. Beloved colleague of ours who served the district in multiple capacities for, I don't want to say too many decades because that starts to sound like I'm calling her old, has retired, and she earned it. And so we have a coordinator position that is vacant. This newly appointed coordinator began her fledgling career right here at Madera South High School as a student teacher. And I imagine she was just a bit overwhelmed by a 3,000 plus student campus because she then ran up to Yosemite High School, which was just a little bit smaller. And it was a really positive experience for her, and she was involved in FFA and CTE. It's all in her DNA, and so is excellence. She proved that when she went to LeGrand and worked to build a really highly competitive program in multiple pathways. She has a habit of building things that succeed. She's joining a stellar team of teachers. We saw that evidence of all of that tonight, who make us proud every day. So I'd like to introduce to the board and to the public, Ms. Jordana Faria. Faria. Let me say it wrong the first time.
Good evening, President Cyber, Clerk Mendoza, members of the board, and Superintendent Lyle. My name is Jordana Faria, and it's an honor to stand here before you today with the opportunity to serve as the new coordinator of college and career readiness. After spending 11 years in the classroom, teaching in CTE, with 3 of those being right here in Madera Unified, the chance to take on this new role and support college and career readiness throughout our district truly excites me. Within this role, I hope to empower and support teachers and students in reaching their full potential. I also hope to ignite a passion for CTE, encouraging students to explore and succeed in whichever pathway they choose. Joining the College and Career Readiness Department has been a dream of mine for quite some time, and one that I cannot wait to be a part of. As I take on this new role, I intend to lead with empathy, compassion, and a strong commitment to building meaningful relationships with our administrators, teachers, and students. I will keep the core values of Madera Unified and what's best for our students at the center of my work. I have been fortunate to see these values in action through my work with the current College and Career Readiness Department and site admin at Madera South. I am grateful for their continued support and belief in me as I enter this new role. I would also like to take a minute to thank those who've supported me along the way. Kristen McKenna, the Madera South Ag Department, my family, and my biggest cheerleaders who are here with me tonight, my husband Arthur, and my 3 children, James, Renee, and Henry. Without these people, I would not be where I am today. Once again, I'm grateful for this opportunity and I'm excited to join the team. Thank you.
Welcome aboard. It was, I know, I'm just having these flashbacks of seeing the two of you guys as like student teachers. It's shocking. Here you are. Like you said 11 years ago? Right. Yeah, that just boggles my mind. Yeah, right. The difference is you all have changed a lot. All right, our final introduction tonight is somebody that like really doesn't need much introduction. Not to this board, not to our district. She's been solving, thousands of problems behind the scenes that none of us really ever know about. But we add a new key member of our public facing team of professionals. The word that might be coming to mind when you hear her name is professionalism, because I think she exemplifies that as well as anyone could. I'm pretty certain our trustees, cabinet members, labor leaders, and community leaders, and I know tons of parents, all really value her commitment to excellence at the highest levels. It's visible. It was visible in the CAO's office for many, many years, where she managed the needs of some very needy people. Those were not me. And she also really built a team, and that team has begun to thrive in a whole new generation. So since the retirement of our beloved Norma Martinez, Maria has soldiered on with the ever-present support from Liz. And at some point after years in, we'll get some much needed help because I generate a ton of work and so do these guys. That's just the truth. So trustees, I'd like to introduce someone who you know well, and I know you value as one of the newest executive administrative assistants for our office, Ms. Lorena Rardin.
Thank you. Good evening, President Seibert, Clerk Mendoza, members of the board, Superintendent Lyle. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I am truly honored and humbled to have been selected. I look forward to embracing this new responsibility and stepping into this role. I am excited about this new chapter and look forward to working alongside each one of you. I would also like to acknowledge the incredible support I have received along the way from colleagues, family, and friends. Thank you again for your trust and support. Have a good evening.
Congratulations. Lorena, we're not all as screwy as I am. They're a lot saner. So congratulations.
Congratulations, all the new staff.
Thank you all.
Okay, item number 10, information and reports. Oh, boy.
Cycle out.
Item 10A1, fiscal services. Review comprehensive evaluation of 24-25 annual contract service agreements. Superintendent Lyle.
So President Seibert, Clerk Mendoza, members of the board, I bring to the podium CFO Garcia, who will take you through, I think probably the most comprehensive critique we have done of our vendors, and that we can talk about what that's going to actually mean for the future, and besides a whole lot less of them. So Ms. Garcia, if you would please.
Thank you. Good evening, President Seibert, Clerk Mendoza, trustees, Superintendent Lyle. As every year, we evaluate, we bring to you a bundle of contracts to maintain the operations of our district. The guidance from you has saying that we need to evaluate them every year, look at them as we are gonna renew, not renew, we need it, we don't need it, and make the decision and bring to you what those evaluations has been for this year. So this, did you receive a book with them? Okay, perfect. So after page 5, I have a summary. So it doesn't have a number, so it's between page 5 and 6. So there is a summary that I'll give you some information on it. So we evaluate 312 contracts in here. The total amount is 42.3 million. From those, 27 million is restricted funds and 15 million is unrestricted. So from those 312 contracts, we're gonna bring to you about 280 and we're gonna not renew about 30 of them. After we print the books, we went again and did another review with the superintendent, and we are taking some more contracts out of the not renewing for the 25-26. So we're 660,000 more we're gonna reduce, and those are unrestricted funds. And 300,000 of the some of the contracts, we're gonna be switching them from unrestricted to restricted funds. So we're doing a very intensive review of the contracts to make sure that we are preparing the district for the future, as we have been receiving notifications, from the state, from the federal government, that some of the grants are not renewing, some are in the watch list. So we have to prepare ourselves to put the district in a fiscal responsible position to be ready to react if we are losing any funding. So in the unrestricted contracts, the largest one that we have is for the computer lease, and that is for the leases that we have for the Chromebooks that goes to the students and the teachers. We are switching from that list, and we're gonna start not leasing anymore and purchasing. So we're gonna start phasing out, but we still have a couple of years, I will say, on the list, and so we still have to pay that contract. Liability insurance is about 3 million. We have to pay that contract because we have to have that coverage for any incidents or accidents that we have in our schools, in our vehicles, in our property. So we have to protect that for the district safe. So we have many contracts that we have to have. They are required. So those are like non-negotiable. We have to have them. So if you have any questions on any of the contracts, feel free to send me an email, because next board meeting, I'm gonna bring the list of contracts that we're gonna renew for 25-26, and it will include the estimate, the amount that we're gonna, the contract, and also the funding source where that contract is gonna be covered from. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have a comment, President Seibert, if I may.
Go ahead.
I know you're going to be refining more the list. I would like to make sure that the contracts to give priority, and I know there's restricted, unrestricted based on the grants that we receive, but I would like to see that services that will support direct instruction to students be the priority over the other ones, please. And I have a few notes here, but I'll just meet with you afterwards. Thank you.
You're asking for what, that put them in a priority?
Right. They're going to be going through the list, and you're going to be looking at other contracts, correct? To revise, because this list has already been revised, you said, right?
If I'm understanding correctly, is like if we're gonna cut any contracts, do not cut the services that are direct to students.
Right, but is this list, has this been revised further?
Yes.
Right?
Mhm.
So, okay,
Yes.
and will we be receiving the revised copy?
Yes.
As well?
Yes, you will receive a new book for only the contracts that are gonna renew for 25-26.
Okay, I just would like that if they're going to revise this list again, that the priority will be given to contracts that will be serving the students directly.
Priority, I didn't understand what priority of what now?
What I'm saying is like, is you're gonna cut, there are two contracts, and one of them is gonna serve the students directly. I'm trying to remember, I tried to figure out one example that, that is gonna serve the students directly over, maybe teacher training or whatever. I will prefer that the students services are gonna be provided to the students directly be prioritized. But teachers train, it's not a good example, but there are others here that.
I think I understand what you're getting at, Trustee Dybert. And what you have before you is the evaluation of the contracts that we have used this fiscal year. What you're going to get are recommendations for the ones for next year, and it's a much smaller number of contracts. And we have prioritized those that have the greatest impact on our students and their
right.
achievement.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
that's what I meant. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, CFO Garcia. Item number 10B1, Student and Family Support Services. Annual Progressive Report on California Community Schools Grants for cohorts 1, 2, and 3. Superintendent Lyle.
Yeah, so President Cyber Clerk Mendoza, members of the board, we have Director Diorian here from our Culture and Climate team, who's been doing really great work on implementing some really creative and challenging programs to try to bring us into the 21st century and meet our needs. You may recognize the name of this grant. It would probably be if, there's maybe 6 or 8 TV advertisements about this to try to help the general public be supportive of it. And I think some of those are from healthcare providers. I think some of them are from CTA. So we qualified for all 3 of these grants, and Ms. Diorian is here to talk about the importance of them and our progress. So Ms. Diorian, if you would, please.
Good evening again, President Seibert, Clerk Mendoza, trustees, and Superintendent Lyle. I'm here tonight to give you an annual update on our community school grants. You will see that as opposed to last year, we actually have 3 cohorts of grants, and we have 27 schools in Madera Unified that qualified for that funding. With me tonight, I have Dr. Mabel Franks again from ERC, who supports Madera Unified with our annual evaluation of each of those 27 grants, as well as the report writing. So Dr. Franks, do you want to come up? Next slide, Frank.
Thank you. The full purpose of this grant is to partner with our communities in support of students so that they can leave our school system much more prepared for the future academically and socially, emotionally. I'm gonna leave it back up to you.
Thank you. Next slide, Frank. So just a reminder, I think I shared this slide last year. The Community Schools Grant, as Superintendent said, you may see on TV, is one of Superintendent Thurman's 7 key initiatives to transform California schools. So CVE is strongly behind this grant and the projects that they award. Next slide, please. So tonight we're just going to do an overview, a high-level overview at the district level of what we did this year with this grant funding. Next slide. So you can see we have 6 grant goals. They may look familiar. Last year when I was here, I shared that we originally received this grant in 2021 for Torres High School. It was a single school grant. We were able to develop that into cohort 1 the next school year in 22-23 for our Red Pyramid schools. 23-24, we further expanded it to our Purple Pyramid schools, and this year we were awarded cohort 3 for our Blue Pyramid schools. All of the schools and all of the cohorts have the same goals in the grant, and that really is, next slide, to support the social and emotional well-being of kids. So while we do have 6 goals, the concept that Madera Unified took on this grant is that if we improved our behavior systems, expanded our social emotional supports, provided training and resources to our staff at site, brought in some extra staff to provide social emotional interventions, that our kids would be better regulated to receive instruction and improve academic outcomes. Next slide, please. So when the grant writing started, we had a choice of 2 different types of grants. We could have gone with a 2-year planning grant or a 5-year implementation grant. The difference between the 2 is during the first 2 years, there would have been no services or staff to support kids. It was planning what we were going to do with the grant. Madera Unified realized coming out of the pandemic that we needed social, emotional, and behavior supports, and we needed them now for our kids. Our parents said it, our student survey said it, our staff survey said it, and our school site council meetings were overwhelmingly discussing the behaviors that kids returned from the pandemic with that we needed to help support. So we went with the 5-year grant and we were awarded and got working. Next slide, please. So this could look familiar too. The only thing new on this slide this year is the Blue Pyramid. So the other grant awards we've received over the years, this is the number of school funded and the amount of funding each award was. And like I said, Blue Pyramid was awarded for 5 years, beginning the 24-25 school year. Our total grant funding received throughout these grants is just over $38 million. So next slide. So with our first grant, the Red Pyramid grant, we have funded 12 FTE or 12 staff at the school sites, 2 staff in the health and wellness department to provide some behavioral health services, 1 staff member in PRC to help with parent education. And we funded the first year, it was 100% of our grant coordinator, Karsten. And in the later years, he was split funded by 2 grants and now by 3 grants. Next slide, please. With the second grant, the Purple Pyramid grant, we had 10 schools awarded in that pyramid. We have 11 staff funded out at the school sites, another health and wellness staff to provide behavioral health services. We fund 1 of the attendance liaisons in student services, and then again, 1/3 of the people in my department. 3 people in my department get 1/3 of their funding from each of the grants. And next slide, our last grant is Blue Pyramid. This is our newest one. We had a little bit of a snafu with our Chavez funding. They were originally not funded in the Purple Pyramid. So then they were put in the Blue Pyramid grant. So Chavez's funding started this year. We have 8 schools, 9 staff out at the school sites, another community support specialist in health and wellness. We are funding 1 student advocate in the student services, child, youth, and transition program. And then a few people, again, 1/3 of the staff, my staff. So next, I'd like to bring up my PBIS coordinator, Beth Echeveste, who's going to tell you a little bit about what all of these staff did.
Right. So one of our grant objectives was to increase access for our students for social, emotional, and behavior supports. As you can see on the pie chart there, we have served about 1,781 students. So that is really exciting to see the expanded access through these grant funds, which was one of our goals. You can also see our Purple Pyramid, we have more schools on board, so we have some higher numbers there. So some very exciting work. Next slide, please. Oh, and then some of our other goals, improving an MTSS PBIS system, positive behavior interventions and supports. So when we're looking at servicing of our schools, we look at systems. Tier 1 is school-wide instruction. And so you can see from the 23-24 year that we had some good percentages in place. This is not like a letter grade. We look for 70% is considered in place. So tier 1, we had some good foundations, but we still wanted to strengthen our area of foundations. We contracted with Placer County Office of Ed to bring in their experts there. They're our state lead for California PBIS. They partnered with our culture and climate coaches as well as myself to deliver the trainings to our schools to be able to build their capacity, as well as follow-up coaching supports to be able to help them implement the things that they learned in training. You can see some of our biggest growth is in tier 2. Previous scores there, you can see around the 55 to 59 percentile, and we've grown all the way up to 80%, 79%. So almost across the district, we have tier 2 in place, which are those group-based counseling interventions, check-in, check-out, as well as our interventions teams meeting and looking at data to effectively support students and intervene early. Next slide, please. And so as we continue our access, we've also purchased curriculum to be able to support more students. So not only our grant funded employees were able to use these services, but our regular counselors at all of our secondary sites now have access to the Character Strong Tier 2 curriculum, which allows for different coping skills, relationship building, regulations, social skills that our students need in our secondary setting to be able to help them navigate their environments, so then they can be able to learn. So we've expanded access from Desmond was our first pilot back in 22-23. We expanded access to Madera South, as well as all secondary settings. Next slide, please.
So really the meat and potatoes of this is we told you about the staff we were able to fund. We shared some of the training we did with them and the resources we bought, but I'm sure you want to see some outcomes. What did it do? So next slide. We're going to show you some of our office discipline referrals, which really is some of the indication of the behaviors going on a campus. So this slide is the red pyramid or the Torres pyramid. You can see, Frank, can you click that? In the cohort total, you can see that over the 3 years of the grant, they've reduced their office referrals about 30%. Next slide, please. So our purple pyramid has only had the grant in 2 years. So looking from year 1 to year 2, they've had about a 52% reduction in office discipline referrals. And next slide, please. Blue pyramid, we didn't want to just show you this year of the grant, so we compared it to their pre-grant year last year, and you can see they've had about a 31% reduction in office discipline referrals. So we can safely say across the board that the supports are working and the office discipline referrals are reducing across our system. So next slide, please. A really exciting thing we've been able to do with this grant is some innovative programming that all of our elementary schools are receiving. So next slide. We're going to watch a quick video. I won't play all of it because of the lateness in just a minute, but we've started what we call a positive recess engagement program, or PREP, because we need another acronym in education, right? So what the PREP does is we started with a consultant. They come out and they supervise, or they teach our staff who supervise recess how to build a structured recess that promotes pro-social behaviors. We had Playworks with us our first year, and we realized that providing staff with 4 days of training really wasn't going to cut it. But if we could bring on a teacher on special assignment who was a Madera Unified employee 180 plus days a year, they could get out there at the elementary schools much more. So we brought that position forward in the 23-24 school year and hired our recess engagement trainer. And this year he's been able to go out to cohort 2 and 3 elementary schools. He spends 2 to 3 weeks coaching staff on not just providing structured games, but how to bring positive behavior from the classroom to the playground, how to de-escalate, how to solve conflicts. And we're seeing some pretty good results that we'll show you in a minute. So next slide. We'll just watch a few minutes of this video on this program. So PREP is the Positive Recess Engagement Program, and it's a program run out of our department, School Culture, to help improve recess environment for kids and staff. So PREP started about 3 years ago. We started to dream up what would it look like if we could bring in our own teacher who had experience in PE and sports and experience in positive behavior and social emotional learning, and have them build a program that you not just trained, but then you had ongoing coaching and support.
As we've developed PREP, so what we've done is we've incorporated games with strict rules or just really well-known rules, and that is Foursquare and Blocker Ball. The idea is, how can we change the way the culture is at a school, really from the outside, working our way in? And so by having kids outside playing and playing together and having inclusivity, it really promotes that teamwork. It provides those friendships, those relationships, and that carries through into the classroom.
And then the added benefit, really the reason that the principal started thinking about this program, is we're starting to see a reduction in those major behaviors on the playground that might result in an office referral.
But I also think it's important because it helps our students make friends, take initiative.
So it's a great video. It's linked to the slide deck. I hope you'll take a few more minutes to watch it, but I'd like to show you some of the data resulting from this structure. So next slide. So what we're looking at here is office discipline referrals, specifically drilled down for playground behaviors by pyramid. So you can see in the first cohort, over the 3 years, remember they had a consultant the first year, but then they've been working, just go back, one more. That one. Okay, so they've been working and had support with Sean with training and some activities. So in the 3 years they've been working in the positive program recess program, they've had a 55% reduction in playground office referrals, down from 265 to 118 this year through April. Next slide. Our Purple Pyramid has had the program in place for 2 years. They've seen a 43% reduction in office discipline referrals from the playground. And last one, our Blue Pyramid, who started this year, we're comparing it to the year that they didn't have prep, but they've already experienced a 21% decrease. So all in all, next slide, you can see that the supports coming from this grant are providing social emotional supports to kids, training to staff, from the classroom to the playground, and we're starting to see that translate in our behavior. So up next for us, we're kind of in the middle of our busy grant reporting and evaluation season. We're taking Sean to Sacramento tomorrow to talk about his recess program. We have steering committee meetings, and then we're finalizing with the help of ERC and Dr. Franks 27 annual and Karsten 27 annual reports. And then we have a district report due in July and a budget report due in September.
So, Ms. Doran, if you would, just for a second, can you off-road with us here for a bit? Because, okay, so things are going better on the playground and less kids get in trouble. Let's talk about what that really means. Let's flesh that out a bit, because we know when kids are having conflict, our students are having conflict on the playground, it goes into the front office eventually, right? When Michael Holiday and Todd Lyle cannot stop beating each other up, Ms. Meyer sends us to Mr. Knox. That's how that goes. And we couldn't stop in second grade, just could not stop. We fought all year long. And what happens is how many, like, think about it, talk to us about the benefits of protecting students' opportunity to learn and having them come back emotionally regulated. What does that do for our classrooms?
So I think the number one benefit we're hearing is from our teachers. Our elementary school teachers are picking kids up from the playgrounds, and those conflicts or those problems that could have maybe resulted from play or maybe unfair play aren't spilling back into the classroom, and they're not taking valuable time. So we're hearing from teachers quite a bit that they really appreciate kids coming back in regulated. But we're also hearing from administrators, the amount of time it takes to investigate and solve problems, if they're coming from the classroom or the playground, it's minimum 30 minutes, sometimes hours to solve one incident, right? Depending on what it was and the number of kids. So that's allowing our administrators to have time to get out there and do the job of leading and supervising instruction and learning. So I think the benefits of all this is that it's providing more time for instruction and learning.
So, and I don't mean to belabor this, because none of us want to be here till 10 tonight. We don't have to be. How many, and I know you have staff that can tell us this, how many new NAIDS do we have? And I know that's not even the term we use anymore.
No.
Right? It's changed like 3 times since I've been in this
Yeah.
role. How many do we have approximately?
It's close to about 100 or slightly over 100. Yeah. So close to 100 cafeteria playground assistants.
And we have somebody with enough experience to tell us how they used to be trained. Right, Karsten? They used to be given a whistle. 100%, right? And so then there wasn't really a calibration of what that actually meant. So different people did it different ways. And the kids knew who to go to that would help them, and who to avoid, who would maybe hurt them or yell at them, make them feel bad. And so there's this huge resource, this pool of human capital that we had never really tapped because nobody thought about it. I mean, this is a big groundbreaking for us. And then when we went down to CISC, we found out it's kind of groundbreaking for like most districts. Most districts don't put much time and energy into a position that rolls over so often. So the part that I hope you'll get into is, what is tier 2 and who are the kids we're really making a difference with, because they catalyze difference, right? They set off, they knock down dominoes with lots of other kids. So when they are healthy, those dominoes don't fall.
Right. So one of the things we are experiencing with our cafeteria aides is they're receiving a lot of behavior training, right? They had never gotten de-escalation training, even verbal de-escalation, right? So they hadn't done any of this conflict resolution. We tend to see them turn over quite often because they're applying and getting para jobs or higher classified support jobs with this behavior experience. So that's a good thing. It just, it requires someone like Sean or someone like our team to continue to train the new ones. But one of the things we have found is one of the contracts you'll see gone from next year's contract is Playworks. We don't need to continue an agreement with them because we've built that in our own teacher who can now continue doing that work for our district. After we came back from CISC, we kind of got a call from Playworks that said, "You guys talking about us?" Yeah. They said, "It's okay. We got what, 3 districts called us after your talk and they want to partner with us. Fresno Unified partners with them this year after hearing Karsten's talk about what they do with them." So while we, have to gracefully say goodbye to a vendor, that's what they want. They want you to build your capacity so that you can sustain it in your system. And I think that's the beauty of this grant is we're investing in our people to sustain the supports in our system.
And I'll be quiet after this, but I do want to make sure that we double down on the whole issue that we know is nationwide. We had problems before the pandemic. Our kids were not playing. Their thumbs work real well in front of a screen, but they're not playing. They don't know what it feels like to get tackled because they don't play. They don't know what it feels like to skin their knee because they don't fall down because they don't play. And so there's this lack of resiliency, and it's been talked about now for 15 years. But after the pandemic, it was a whole different kind of experience. It was as if that problem was multiplied and stacked on top of itself. And we heard about it all like that. That's all we heard until probably Christmas, that first year back. And we have child psychologists saying that a play-based education is a healthy education. And so many of us experienced it, but our kids today are not. And so like doubling this effort and creating so much capacity for a play-based like childhood for kids to go out and feel like they get to play and have fun, and they know how to deal with rules, and they know how to deal with losing and winning and failing and trying, and good job, nice try. It's not just a little mantra, but kids are learning how to say that all the time, and it doesn't shame anyone. It gets kids back in the game.
No. So yeah, we've seen just really great success that if a kid loses in a game, the beauty of these games is that they move really fast. So, you can lose a round, but you'll get a chance to play 3, 4, 5 more rounds before the end of recess, and kids congratulate and they give each other high fives just for trying. And we've taught all the kids a way to solve, right? Like if it's a tie, who got it? You or me? They do Rochambeau, rock, paper, scissors, and then they go get at the end of the line and cycle back in. So if you ever get a chance to be at one of your elementary sites during lunch recess, look for these games and just take a look at how your kids are engaging, how your adults are engaging with your kids. We've even started to see some principals who maybe didn't have a tool that they wanted to give a kid a timeout at recess or a detention at recess. We can't do that anymore with SB 291. We're not
now illegal.
Right. You can't take recess away from kids. So we have some principals who go out with maybe kids that would have happened to last year and say, "You're playing this game with me." And they play and they try to beat them. And lo and behold, the next day, 10 more kids want to join in and try to beat the principal. So we're taking kind of this structured approach to solving some of our behavior issues. So last slide, I want to address this real quick. I know I've gone way over my time.
It's my fault.
It's okay. Last year when I was here, I gave you a high level overview, and I remember Trustee Salazar saying, "But I want to look at a school. I might want to see one of my schools and see where to go." And at that time we said, "Well, contact us. We're happy to share that with you." We've now added a link onto our department website. If you go to the School Culture and Climate website, you will see a CCSPP link there at drop downs, and then you'll see cohort 1, 2, 3, red, purple, and blue pyramids. And we have all of our implementation plans for each school there and our sustainability plans. And again, we are always happy to meet with you through the superintendent's office to talk about, any of this information or schools that you'd like to talk about. So thank you.
Thank you, Director Fiorian. Item number 10C, union time. At this time, I invite presidents of the union to address the board. Mr. Holder.
Board President Seibert, Clerk Mendoza, board members, Superintendent Lyle. I'll be brief. Just want to say thank you to Clerk Mendoza and Trustee Fleek and Trustee Ahmad, who attended the Fresno Madera State Board Trustee Dinner last week with me. It was greatly appreciated. Thank you for being there. And I do know a couple other board members had wanted to be there, but things came up for them. And so, hopefully in the future, you will be able to attend. And again, just thank you. It was my honor to have you all there and greatly appreciated it. And I think you all had a good time. Unfortunately, I will do my best again in the future to have CTA limit the jibber jabber talk that goes on and, get everybody out on a decent time. But thank you again. Appreciate it.
The talk wasn't that bad, but the food was very good.
Any other board
She's online, but no other comment from any
comments? No
union
other union leaders. Okay, item number 11, superintendent's time.
So I'll do this as quickly as I can, sir. I wanted to thank you all for coming out to the Madera Prayer Breakfast and thank the Madera Ministerial Association for always believing in us and always putting so much support behind our schools and our staff, our teachers and our kids. They've been fantastic supports to us. I also want to share with our trustees that Solution Tree and the California Collaborative for Educational Excellence paired up this last week to honor some of our schools. I want to thank Dr. Wright, Dr. Gregson, Executive Director Matt Navo for the opportunity and support they've provided us. I want to thank Rich Smith, Kim, Casey, and Matt from Solution Tree for their incredible coaching and support of our school sites and all the cheerleading that they did, which was really clear. They did a lot to really encourage our teachers to keep trying, taking risks, and being successful. We heard incredible testimonials from our teacher leaders about life before and life after. At all three schools, we heard clearly they never want to teach the old way again. Those teacher leaders pioneered a new level of professionalism that with some quality opportunity and some coaching and a lot of trust, every teacher can achieve at transformational levels. This combination of people from Solution Tree and the CCE has led Madera County, and our teachers included, have led Madera County to invest in the state's only county office to offer true PLC support. There are 4 districts in Madera County lining up to develop something unique and clearly successful because of our teacher leaders and administrators who proved the point. And this week we got to celebrate the data, the practices, the artifacts, last week we got to celebrate the data, practices and artifacts, the skill, the leadership of our 3 pilot schools. And I think we're the only district involved in this pilot project with CCE that had 3 schools recognized. Sierra Vista was recognized on the 6th as a promising practices school. Nishimoto received its Model School Award celebration on the 7th. And Washington had a really great celebration of its Promising Practices Award on the 9th. The staff, the kids, everyone was extremely excited. And we'll work to honor those teachers and their teacher leaders, just like we did with Nishimoto. We'll work to honor Sierra Vista and Washington. I wanted to share with the trustees that our state seal of bioliteracy happened over the last 2 consecutive weeks. And strangely enough, we had 298 students, and strangely enough, that is the exact same number of students we had last year. In past years, we only were able to qualify students in Spanish and French. But this year, we were able to qualify one MHS senior in Mandarin and one in Urdu. MSHS, we were able to qualify our first achiever for Arabic. And at THS, a senior who overcame a challenging disability to qualify in Spanish, a truly remarkable achievement. They'll be celebrated at graduation, as we always do, because it's such a high honor. But I think this should be a real serious point of pride for our principals, should be a really serious point of pride for our world language teachers, and certainly a point of pride for our multilingual education department that has sponsored so much of this. Furman had 2 students. Madera South had 71. Madera High had 72. Wait for it. Torres had 153. Also, we need to thank the world language teachers, the counselors, the support staff, the administrators who continue to make the celebrations at the school sites really meaningful and memorable. And adding mariachis is an outstanding touch of cultural class. We liked it. And here is a really fun thing that you will appreciate the public knowing. We get to announce it tonight. I got to tell some staff earlier. So we have the Excellence in Education Awards there at Madera County Superintendent of Schools every fall. All of us really appreciate the black tie and gown event hosted by Dr. Massetti, where they honor the support staff, teacher, and administrator of the year for the entire county. The stories that we hear about how they've overcome and achieved and inspired our local schools is often really heartwarming. Horacio told a great story a few years ago, and I think there wasn't a dry eye in the house. Some of us may even have a tear or two, like Horacio. Also, you may recall how despite having about 70% of the county's students, there are times when our neighboring districts have such high quality honorees that we don't win the final awards. Well, this year we almost won 70% of the awards too. In a personal call from Dr. Massetti, she instructed me to congratulate one of the state's most decorated ag teachers, Kristen Sheehan of Madera South High School, as Madera County Teacher of the Year. And wait for it, Administrator of the Year for her groundbreaking work in CTE and the graduate profile. And everything you got to see tonight, Kristen McKenna is the Madera County Administrator of the Year. So congratulations to these 2 incredibly deserving ladies. We're also much better for their leadership and service. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Lyle. Okay, now we go to new business. 12A1, Educational Services. Present and discuss the textbook adoption recommendation for the grade 9 science course, Living Earth.
So President Cyber Clerk Mendoza, members of the board, we have Director Tanine House from Curriculum Instruction and Assessment Secondary here as to present the item. So Ms. Tanine House, good to see you.
Thank you, everyone. Good evening, President Seibert, Clerk Mendoza, members of the board, and Superintendent Lyle. I am here this evening to present the first read of our recommended textbook for our high school science 9 course, The Living Earth. This course is part of California's Next Generation Science Standards, also known as NGSS, the 3-course science model. And since the implementation of NGSS, Madera Unified has not adopted a formal textbook for this course, relying instead on open source materials. That was mostly because textbooks were not aligned to the NGSS. There weren't a lot of options when we were first looking at materials. And while flexible, using open course materials have not consistently supported the instructional depth that our students and teachers need. So there's a lot more options available today. And to address the need for a textbook, a committee of 10 science teachers representing both comprehensive and alt ed high schools convened during this 24-25 school year. They were led by our secondary science district academic coach, Aaron Schwartz, and the committee reviewed textbooks from 5 publishers that were recommended by the California Association of Science Educators. Using the NGSS California Science Framework and our district rubric, the team evaluated options over a 2-month period. The committee's unanimous recommendation is the California Experience Biology, The Living Earth,
from Savas Learning Company, first edition, 2020. There's several reasons this book stood out amongst the others. One is the strong standards alignment. It fully integrates the 3 dimensions of the NGSS standards and aligns with math, literacy practices, and California's environmental principles and concepts. It's also an engaging program design. Lessons are organized around real-world phenomena using the 5E model with inquiry-based labs, simulations, and case studies that students and teachers can access. Equity and access, the materials support a wide range of learners with ELD scaffolds, Lexile leveled text, Spanish versions, and audio tools. They're also fully compatible with Google Classroom and our Madera Unified Systems with features like virtual labs and exportable data that students and teachers can access. And the assessment readiness, it includes the CAST or California Science Test aligned assessments with diverse item types and clear data reports. And you have a much larger rationale in your packet as well, I believe. That was just kind of the highlights. This adoption supports Madera Unified's focus on problem-based learning, college and career readiness, and developing the skills in our graduate profile, such as critical thinking, collaboration, and communication. We invite you and anyone listening in the broader community to preview the textbook and the materials on 2 dates, May 15th, this is this Thursday, and May 20th, next week, from 1 to 4 p.m. in the Secondary Curriculum and Instruction Assessment Department, which it's in the back corner of this building. So for all of you, you'll kind of head towards the back and we can help you find it. For anyone listening in the public, any parents or community members, they would just come to the main office, come up to the front desk and let them know they're here to review the science curriculum, and we'll come out and get them and bring them back. Our science coach, Aaron Schwartz, will be available there as well to answer any questions and can lead you through in more detail the process that the team took to review the curriculum if you would like. So again, this is the first read tonight. I'll be returning for the second read and request for approval on May 27th. Thank you. It's from 1 to 4 p.m. And if it's not in the packet that you have, I can get to you the flyer with the dates and times as well. I can have that to you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. B1 Human Resources, first reading of the 24-25 initial proposal by the Madera Unified School District and Certificated Management Bargaining Association. Superintendent Lyle.
President Cyber Clerk Mendoza, members of the staff, in the absence of Assistant Superintendent Ayala, we have his deputy. Hi, April. Welcome to the podium.
Good evening. Good evening, President Cyber, Clerk Mendoza, members of the board, and Superintendent Lyle. Tonight, we will be presenting a first read for the Certificated Management Bargaining Association, also known as SIMBA, and the district sunshine proposals. SIMBA is requesting to negotiate salary, safety, and work schedules. The district is requesting to negotiate Article 8, which is transfers, reassignments, and vacancies. Article 9, which is the evaluation procedures. And also Article 11, salary and fringe benefits. We are required by the Educational Employment Relations Act, also known as EERA, to give the public an opportunity to review and comment on any articles before we may begin negotiations. This item will be brought back on May 27th board meeting for a second read and a request for the board to adopt the sunshine proposals. Following the May 27th board meeting, the district will begin negotiations with SIMBA. At this time, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Okay, item number 13. Announcements. Superintendent Lyle, do you have any announcements for the board?
I've had enough to say already, but I do have 5. There will be a parent advisory committee meeting tomorrow on May 14th at 6 p.m. at the Price's Training Room. Next week, the students at Madera Technical Exploration Center will present their junior graduate profile from Monday through Wednesday on the 19th through the 21st. They're in need of volunteers for Wednesday in case any of you are interested. And those are really tremendous, by the way. If you didn't get a chance to see the senior showcase, that is a great place to get your feet wet. Excuse me. Also on Monday, May 19th, DLAC will hold their meeting at 6 p.m. here in our boardroom. They're a great group to be around. Furman Seal Biliteracy celebration will take place during their senior night award celebration on Thursday, May 22nd. That always is a really great event too, if you have the opportunity to attend. The event starts at 6 p.m. And then on Friday, May 23rd, Madera Unified's Noche de Mariachi will take place at the Courthouse Park Amphitheater with performances from Madera Unified's elementary, middle, honor, and high school mariachi groups. The event is scheduled to begin at 5:30. I think that is a great venue for that and a really cool opportunity to get people out in the refurbished Courthouse Park. So I'm excited about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Lyle. Item number 14, miscellaneous. 14A, Board Advisory Committee updates. We move into advisory committee and board member updates. I invite trustees to briefly share their highlights from any committee meetings you've attended over the past couple of weeks. These updates should be shared in a summary form to help keep the full board public informed about work of our advisory committees and district initiatives. When sharing your update, please include the date and name of the committee meeting, main topics or issues discussed, important takeaways or action, and any next steps of or upcoming meeting dates if applicable. Let's keep our updates concise and focus on informing the board group. Trustee Ahmad.
On April 30th, I attended along with Trustee Fleek and Clerk Mendoza at CTA dinner in Fresno. I would like to thank Mr. Holdner for the invitation and express my appreciation for the warm hospitality shown by the leadership at the FMSSC School Board Dinner event. It was a pleasure to attend and connect with the fellow educator and stakeholder who are committed to supporting our student and staff. Thanks again for the invitation. That concludes my report.
Okay, Trustee Cortez.
Nothing to report. Thank you.
Trustee Dybert.
I don't have anything to report. Thanks.
Trustee Fleek.
You've been spared. I left my information at home.
Oh, man. Trustee Salazar.
On April 24th, I attended the LAPA committee and I participated with the group I was with, and it was fun because they were looking to see more the teachers there from the arts committee was looking for more ideas, like to interact with students and stuff. So it was good participating with them and things that they would take back with their classes they have with the students. And then, of course, I attended the scholarships of on April 28th, and the 3 schools were at Torres High School. I attended the one for Torres, and I'm proud of all the students that received their scholarships. And I attended the prayer breakfast. Of course, it was prayer, just personal things you take from that. And the 3 seal of biliteracies for Torres, Madera South, and Madera High. You know, proud of all the students, all they go through to get their seal of biliteracy. So that's really fantastic. And then I attended the Art Fest on May 8th with McSauce and seeing all the artwork from our different students across the county. It was really, it's fun and the different talent that we have in our students. And then earlier today, attended the at McSauce Robotics that were recognized for the World Championship. During that, that was okay.
Thank you. Clerk Mendoza.
Yes, President Cyber, I attended the CTA event, the MAPA meeting and the prayer breakfast. That's it.
I went to the Art Fest. I didn't realize they had a lot of vendors out there. I guess saw a lot of food, huh? And they had art from first and third grade through all the different levels. And some of those artists are really good. Okay, item 14B, suggested future agenda items. Trustees, do you have any items you would like the board leadership to consider for future board meeting? Seeing none? Pardon?
Nothing noted.
Okay. Item number 15, advanced planning. Next regular board meeting is scheduled for May 27th, 2025. Time for adjournment at 8:39 PM. Okay.